sneakers.
Taylor Bidmead from Fitness Together is showing us what kind of shoes you need for certain exercises and why it matters now. Taylor, as I just mentioned to you, I buy my sneakers based on fashion.
Yeah. Right. How do they look?
How they look. Are they going to look cool? Am I going to fit in the gym? But you're apparently telling me there's different sneakers for different roles and different exercises.
Not one size fits all. So they make different sneakers based on what activity you're going to be doing.
This is real for real, and there's scientific,
you know, for real. Yes,
okay.
And I can show you some key differences as well.
Right.
Okay. It kind of depends on the activity you want to do, right? Are you just going to run, or are you doing a lot of cross training?
Exactly. So this first set that we have is a running sneaker. So the difference between a running sneaker versus like cross trainers or the ones I have on my feet, which are designed, these are going to hold your foot in a position where you're going to land on your heel and roll. So it's really meant for doing a parallel motion. So you're landing on your heel and you're rolling. And how they get that is they have a very hard sole. So there's lots of what we call support. So you can feel that. It's really hard rubber.
Oh, yeah,
and then if you go to a sneaker store like Sound Runner, Fleet Feet, New Balance, they'll measure the arch of your foot and see where you put the most of your pressure. So I myself need to have something for extra structure, which is for support.
Right.
So what I do is when I wear this, the arch of the foot is fully supported, so it holds my foot almost like this while I'm in there, and when I run, land on the heel, roll through the balls. And what this does is this reduces your risk of long-term injury. So as long as my hips and knees are stacked and rolling correctly, I'm not going to sprain my ankle while I'm working out.
So this is in addition to the technologically advanced sneaker.
Yes.
We're getting a technologically
Sometimes you need an insole. Yeah, it's interesting when you have your feet scanned like that because we call them flat feet, but they told me I have flexible arches. That's, I think, a nicer way of saying flat feet. But like I noticed certain Nikes, it feels like Princess in the Pod, like you have something poking at you.
That's why these look nice, because I never wear them. Because these have the opposite arch support, because these are cross trainers. So these actually have support on the outside. So if you feel in here, you can feel there's actually a little lip inside of the sneaker. So what that does is that rolls your foot inward.
Okay.
So this has an internal arch support, bringing your pressure more towards your arches.
And are all cross trainers going to be made the same way, similarly?
No. So these are what I have, and these are for floor exercise. You can see how the sole is really wide. It's actually wider than the sneaker itself, so it's a little bit flat, and it's
when you're doing lots of lunges or HIIT workouts, that will help you a lot?
Yes. So this is essentially like working out barefoot versus this one that has a super hard sole on it for running outside. This actually prevents you from doing something like, if I were to try and do a forward lunge in my running sneaker, it's very likely that I would actually roll off that in support and end up spraining my ankle. If not, minor things that can happen is you're trying to do your lunges and your knee is unstable, or the arches of your ankles are rolling if you're unstable. And what your body will do to compensate for that is it'll either try and hold through your hips, it'll try and grab your knee, or worst case, you actually have your knee bones stacking incorrectly. So instead of them locking like this, they'll go like this.
All from wearing the wrong sneaker.
Yes, it all
sounds
starts
like it's
at your
almost better
feet.
to be barefoot.
You know what it's funny to compare it to is tires on your car. Like this is where you meet the ground. It's that important.
So what are you doing with it? I like the idea that this is wider, because I always find when we're doing those workouts that you come to Channel 3, sometimes lunges are hard. I'm always tipsy.
Yeah.
So this is like wider so you don't roll over.
I love them for that reason.
So really you got to know what exercise you want to do. What if you just start kind of getting into a workout and you just are going to invest in one pair to start? Like,
like I'm a
middle of the road,
you're
going to do a little jogging, you're going to do a little working out.
So something like these would be something that would be a much better purchase if you're really not sure what you're into yet, because these are great for yoga. These are great for running. It's very similar to running flat foot, so you'd start out slow, and as you're kind of increasing the amount that you run, see how your knees and hips feel. If your knees and hips start to bother you, then it would be time to invest in some quality running sneakers with support. But doing things like these are great for
a light jog or whatever, you're going to be fine.
For a quick 1 mile run, you're going to be fine. This is for more if we're doing multiple miles a few times a week.
All right. To learn more about Taylor and her team, check out fitnesstogether.com/Rocky Hill.
The studio is located right on New Britain Avenue in Rocky Hill, and you can always visit them there.